brewers, and welcome to another episode of Mechanics Brewery, where I review the various homebrew mechs created by the Lancer fandom. In today's field guide to Soldan Special, Sagittarius, from Chandrasekhar and Herschel, by Kaitave. Sagittarius is the ninth astrological sign used in Western astrology, associated with, well, the Sagittarius constellation, which is also associated in Greek mythology with Chiron, a centaur that's skilled in basically everything including archery and taught an absolute shit ton of Greek heroes in those subjects. In terms of astrology, Sagittarius is said to never miss its mark, and often depicted as having the power of prophecy. Thus seers and prophets are born under the sign. Named after the constellation, Sagittarius makes damn sure that the target will never see their death coming one arrow at a time. Looking at its stat, Sagittarius has low health, no armor, excellent evasion, and average E defense. It's quite fast while being tiny, has a slightly below average heat cap, but an extremely small repair cap. However, it has an excellent sensor range, though without any tech attack bonus. As for its traits, it has three of them. First, Predator, Sagittarius gains +1 accuracy on attack from hidden. Second, Stealth Composites, Sagittarius is immune to lock-on, and search roll to locate it from hidden gets +1 difficulty. And finally, Sensor Ghost, attacks against Sagittarius that do not have line of sight counted as invisible. In short, Sagittarius is going to be one sneaky bastard that anyone will have a hard time finding and shooting at. Onto its weapon mounts, it has 1, a flex, along with 6 base system points. As for its core passive, Sagittarius has the Black Jacket combat bow, which is literally a giant bow. It deals decent damage, good range, and has arcing. On top of that, attack done by this weapon from hidden does not automatically break hidden, instead the target has to pass a system save to even find out Sagittarius is there on hit. On a miss, Sagittarius remains completely hidden. This weapon can also be further drawn back with a quick action to increase the range to 15 on its next attack, also gaining overkill tag in the process, but the effect is lost if Sagittarius moves before firing. Upon printing this mech or during a full repair, you can choose 6 specialized arrows to be equipped on your mech. These arrows can be multiple of the same type, up to 3 at max, and when you attack with the bow, you can expend one of the arrow for its effect. But, these arrows do not count as limited system, so the number cannot be affected by systems or talents that affect limited system. So, let's list out the options. Mute Charge. You don't break hidden on a hit or miss with this arrow. On hit, the target immediately gets jammed until the end of their next turn. Characters can only be affected by this once per scene. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Thermite Warhead. On hit, the target, and everyone in burst one of them get 3 burns. Hyperdense Penetrator. The bow's damage becomes 2d6 plus 3 and on hit, the target is shredded until the end of their next turn. Flechette Bolt. The bow's damage becomes 1d6, 2d6 against biological targets, and its range is now range 5 with a cone 5 directly away from you. Grapnel Line. This arrow does no damage. Instead, you can shoot a target in range 10 and force them to pass a hull save or get knocked prone, or shoot a free space or surface in range 10 to fly directly towards it or nearby space. Ending the movement on air will make you immediately fall. Viral Payload. On hit, the target takes 2 heat and is slowed, impaired, and takes all tech attacks against them with +1 accuracy until the end of their next turn. As for its core power, Sagittarius can activate its special reserve, and gain 1 use of each of the following arrows until the end of the scene. EMP Capacitor. The target is stunned until the end of their next turn on hit, and is slowed and impaired until the end of their next turn on a miss. Fuel Air Explosive. On attack, create a blast 2 zone of volatile fuel in range 10. At the end of next round, the fuel explodes. Everyone in the zone must pass a hull save or take 3d6 explosive damage and get knocked prone, taking half damage only on a success. Seeker Flock. On attack, choose 4 targets within range, they automatically take 3 kinetic damage each. In a nutshell, Sagittarius has a whole bunch of trick arrows up its quiver, and can be extremely flexible against any type of enemies and scenario. As for the rest of its license, you get Shroud missiles and hollow charges in the first section. Shroud missiles, taking cigar-shaped missile to its logical conclusion. OK damage, good range, arcing. It also has a trick in that on attack, on the firing line between you and the target, the missile can pop a blast 1 smoke cover anywhere on it, making all characters and objects in it to get soft cover until the end of your next turn when the smoke dissipates. If you find yourself in a sudden need for cover and still do some damage, this could be useful. Hollow charges, full of sensor busters. You can expend one limited charge from this system for one of the following. First, Spectre Grenade. Pick a target in range who must now pass a system save or until the end of their next turn, unable to cause engagement or use reaction while they themselves are still affected by both. Second, Hollow Decoy. This mine gets triggered when any allied moves over or adjacent to it, creating a holographic ghost that confuses the hell out of targeting system. The triggered character clears lock-on if any, and until the end of their next turn, their movement ignores engagement and they count as invisible upon being attacked. Pop one of these charges open and someone on the other side will be confused as all hell one way or another. Aside from Sagittarius frame itself, you get Inkwell Adaptive Paint and Nightingale Drone in the second section. Inkwell Adaptive Paint, now available in Sneaky Color. All ranged attack against you now has +1 difficulty until you take or have any structure damage. Use this, and you will get shot less, just remember to patch up any damage from stray shots. Nightingale Drone, the Peeping Tom Catcher. After expending a limited charge with a quick action, you can launch the Nightingale Drone to a space within sensor range and it immediately becomes hidden. When the enemy uses a search action to find you when you are hidden, if the drone is also in their sensor range, they now have to pass a system save. If they fail, their search automatically fails, they get locked on, and then impaired until the end of their next turn. After an enemy fails in this way, the drone burns out, otherwise it lasts until the end of the scene. You may also redeploy the drone to a new space within sensor range with a quick action. Basically, Nightingale Drone provides extra insurance for you to stay hidden, except it's also kinda limited in use because it works for you only. Either way, it works. In the final section, you get Tactical Translocator and Echo Cloak. Tactical Translocator, a quick getaway charge. With a quick action, you can expend a limited charge to deploy a teleport beacon to a free space within range 3. With a free action, you may teleport to any of your beacons, no matter where you are. The beacon lasts only one use however, as it burns out immediately after use, but otherwise it lasts until the end of the scene. When another character is standing on the beacon while you teleport right beside them instead, and if that character is hostile, they take 1d6 AP energy damage, get knocked prone, and then shredded until the end of their next turn, if they fail an agility save. If not, they only take half the damage and that's it. The Translocator is a very powerful reposition tool / deadly trap that has effectively as much range as you want if you put it at the right place and use it at the right time, extremely useful. And finally, Echo Cloak. Where do I even begin with this one? Okay, so, this system is basically this, or this, or this. With a quick action and 2 heat, you can activate the system but only when you are hidden. Choose an enemy within sensor range and line of sight equal to your side or larger, you now look exactly like them. You move your speed and are no longer hidden, but you can now move through space occupied by enemies, not stop in them obviously, and your movement also ignores engagement and reaction. Before attempting to make hostile action against you, characters with line of sight to the enemy that you duplicated your appearance from must make a system save. On a failure, they don't lose the action, but they still can't tell which is which until the end of their next turn. There's limitation to the system however, you can only mimic one enemy at the time, and if you are hit by an attack or fail a save from hostile source, if the mimic target get killed, or if you decided to backstab someone or make them pass a save besides save forced by the system, this effect immediately fails. Also, when impersonating an enemy, your next attack gets +1 accuracy because the enemy isn't wary of attack from you, and the target also takes +1d6 bonus damage on hit. Basically, if you want to turn Lancer into a game of Among Us, go ahead and use this, it would be hilarious. As a conclusion, Sagittarius is a flexible ranged ambusher made to strike from beyond visual range, with no one able to find any trace of it once they realized it was there. Its license is packed full of tools for that exact purpose, either making it even harder to be found, or cause real trouble among enemies' ranks. If you feel like fair fight should never exist and you should always put your enemies on their toes in every opportunity, Sagittarius is your best fit. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, Links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.